I've given you guys on Canvas 3 animation movement exercises. These are PNG images. Go ahead and download those and open them up inside of Photoshop. Once you open those, let's make sure that our timeline panel is currently open. If it's not, go to Window, and then make sure that Timeline is checked in our Window pull-down. Now, we've already been working with frame animations in the previous tutorial. We're not going to be working with frame animations anymore. We're going to be working with what are called keyframe animations. To do this, we have to change what type of timeline we're working in. In this case, I want to create a video timeline, not a frame animation. Go ahead and click on the word Create Video Timeline, and then click on the physical button in the center of your timeline panel. Now what this does is it gives us layer 0 in our layers panel, which is our image, as a layer in time. At the bottom of the timeline panel, we see what I call Big Mountain, Little Mountain. It's a slider that allows us to change how zoomed in we are to our timeline. You can also just click the icons. Go ahead and click the Big Mountain icon until we can see the 500F time marker. So this is allowing us to view our layer 0 in time. So how do we read this time? Well, it's done in frames, 10 frames, 20 frames, 1 second. And some of you are thinking, but there's an F next to that. Is that just the first frame? It's not. For some reason, Photoshop's timeline, instead of putting an S there, it keeps the F throughout. So this looks like it's 3 frames, when in reality, it's 3 seconds. I don't know why they do that, but again, I just use the program. I don't design it. So we are working in a 30 frame per second timeline. How do we know? Because every 30 frames, there's a new second marker. 10, 20, 30. 10, 20, 30, and so on. So we now have zoomed in to where we can see that this is defaulted to 5 seconds long. And that's fine, but let's look at our directions. Make a circle move from area 1 to area 2 over the span of 2 seconds. To do this, we have to draw our first circle. Now I'm going to do this the old school way. Let's come up to our marquee tool. Let's click and hold or right click, and let's select our elliptical marquee tool. Let's come down to circle 1. I'm going to click and hold and drag my mouse, and then hold Shift and Alt on the keyboard, or Shift and Option if you're on a Mac, and that allows me to draw a circle from center. It's a much easier way to draw a circle. There's my selection. Now let's make a new layer to fill this color with. Let's go up to Layer, New, Layer, and let's get out our paint bucket tool, and I'm going to fill this with a nice green, and then deselect. So here I have now layer 1 with my green circle on it, and it is important that we made a new layer to make that circle on. Otherwise, we're going to animate the entire background with the ball, and that's not what we want. And then we have layer 0, which is our separate background. Now we want to animate layer 1. We want to animate the ball. To do this, we have to understand keyframes. Keyframes, again, being a marker of position in time. We want to tell Photoshop right now that at 0 seconds, we want our circle or our ball to be right here in this position. And then over at 2 seconds, we want the ball to be over here. And with 2 separate keyframes, one at 0 seconds, one at 2 seconds, the program will animate the movement in between those 2 points in time. Now there's a process to this that I want you guys to follow. Let's come down to our layer 1, toggle it down. This is our ball. In fact, let's go ahead and rename layer 1 ball. Now, as soon as we toggle our ball layer down, we see 3 properties: position, opacity, and style. and 3 strange icons to the left of them. They look like stopwatches, and they are stopwatches. These stopwatches are the universal symbol for keyframes in any Adobe program. You'll see these in Premiere, and we'll see these all over the place inside of After Effects. Think of these as the eyeball icon for keyframes. When I toggle this keyframe button on or off, it turns on my ability to keyframe that particular property. Now we know we want to move the ball from this point to this point over the course of 2 seconds. So we want to make sure that we're starting at 0. We are natively, but this little blue home base plate with the red line going through it, this is our playhead. And when you click and drag your playhead around, you're doing what's called scrubbing the timeline in a video editing term. When you scrub the timeline, you're able to see the movement that we've created. Don't see any movement? That's because we haven't created any yet. We want to make sure that our playhead is at 0 seconds. All the way to the left. Now to create movement, we need at least 2 keyframes. To turn on our ability to move our ball over time, we want to hit the stopwatch icon for position. When you do that, the little icon has a little minute hand next to it. These 2 arrows and this yellow diamond appear to the left, and a yellow diamond appears at 0 seconds in our timeline. Well, what is this yellow diamond? This is a physical keyframe. Anytime you see a diamond shape inside of a timeline in any Adobe program, it means that there are keyframes there. So what we've just done by turning on the stopwatch is that we have put a keyframe at 0 seconds that has recorded the position for the ball here. So that's step 1. Turn on the stopwatch, and it automatically makes a keyframe at your playhead for the current position of the ball. But we can't simply now just take our ball and move it to position 2. Why? Because we just overwrote the position data for our first keyframe. We always need at least 2 keyframes for movement. I'm going to hit Ctrl Z and bring my ball back to position 1. So again, the directions say, make a circle move from area 1 to area 2 over the span of 2 seconds. So I'm going to take my playhead now and drag it to the 2-second mark. Now there's no keyframe because there's still no change in position. So now, with our move tool selected, let's select our ball, hold shift, and drag it sideways to position 2. Holding shift allows us to move it in a perfectly straight line. As soon as you release your mouse, look at what happened. What did it create for you? A second keyframe. It sensed that you had moved the ball from another position previously recorded here at keyframe 1. And so now when we scrub our timeline, take your playhead, the ball should move from keyframe 1 to keyframe 2. If you bring your playhead to the far left at 0 seconds, the space bar will play this. So if you hit space bar, it will actually play. And then nothing happens after keyframe 2. This is keyframe animation at its finest. 2 different keyframes recording 2 different locations for position, and the ball now moves from point 1 to point 2. Now we did this over the course of 2 seconds, but what if we wanted it to move a little bit longer, say 3 seconds? Well, that's super easy. You can physically click and drag any keyframe to a new spot. So the closer our keyframes are, the faster our movement. The further away our keyframes are, the slower the movement. So let's continue to practice this. Let's go up now to Animation Movement 2. If you haven't opened it, go ahead and do that now. In the next tutorial, I'm going to show you guys how we can start to record multiple parameters over time. In this case, you can see we're going to go from a small circle to a big circle and change both size and position over time.